Good morning. It is Friday, October 27th, and it is time to end the week and just chill out, paint some miniatures. Welcome, everybody. It is Gaming with ADHD, but today featuring the comedic stylings of Sam Healy.
Comedic?
It's the only thing that came in my head. I'm sorry.
No, stop.
I haven't rehearsed my styling set yet.
I've muted myself. There we go. All right. Comedic stylings. Way to put me under more pressure, Brian. Appreciate it.
Look, hey, if anyone's the funny one here, it's not me. Let's be honest.
Are you not entertained? Yes.
How you been doing, Sam?
I'm doing well. It is one of those things where life is just like super. Have you ever thought, I wonder what it would feel like if I tried to grab a hold of a train that was racing past me? That's what my life feels like right now. I'm trying to reach out, and I have reached out, but I'm just like on for the ride. I'm just like going. That's what it feels like.
I mean, you could, be getting dragged behind the train.
Well, I'm not getting dragged per se, but I'm flapping in the wind. That's for sure. Because I mean, we've got one kid in the color guard and one kid in band, which is actually kind of cool because those two things coincide often, and one of them drives their own car, so we can say go.
Right.
But then the other one is also in football, and his team is undefeated. And so now they're going into playoffs, and winter is upon us, my friend.
That's right. Because you live in those northern climes.
Exactly. Yes, we live up here where the temperature usually will dip below 60.
That sounds horrible.
No, it's not actually. I love the winter. I do. I love it. But sitting out at football practice last night with freezing rain pelting you, yeah, that wasn't fun.
So by freezing rain, you mean hail, right?
Okay, Brian, we had this discussion. Come now. Don't entice our audience to go down that path. I was telling Brian earlier that my wife and I had a very spirited conversation last night about the difference between freezing rain and hail, and she was convinced, as apparently most people that live up here in PNW, that freezing rain is hail. This is hail up here, is what she said, and I knew I was right, and so I proceeded to search everything up on Google, and I showed her the difference between freezing rain and hail, and the fact that hail is actually hindered when the surface temperature is cold, which is definitely what it was last night. So, yeah.
I mean, in her defense, I just thought freezing rain meant it was really cold out when it was raining.
That's kind of sleet, freezing rain. That's pretty much what it is. It's just rain that freezes on its way down. Whereas hail is like chunks of ice that have formed in the clouds that fall out, and they just don't like melt before they hit the earth. It's like a ball of ice. It's not freezing rain. There's so much different. Because I was like, if this was hail, we would be in pain right now because it hurts when it hits you. I don't care how small it is. And she was like, no. That stuff that you got in Texas, that's different. And I was like, yeah, it's hail. Not freezing rain. There's a difference. So
speaking of Texas, I expect you to be on your best behavior today and not start a fight.
What?
Because the World Series starts tonight.
Oh, I don't care about the World Series. I don't care about baseball. Unless it's the Cubs, I don't care. And I know that's like I know that's like super aloof, but baseball is one of those games, those sports that if I'm not at the game, if I'm not at the ballpark, I could not care less. And on top of that, if it's not the Cubs playing somebody else, I couldn't care even lesser than I couldn't care less that it was baseball.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just baseball and basketball are so far down the rung of my likes and dislikes. Basketball is even worse than baseball, actually, as a matter of fact. Unless somebody is talking about how great LeBron James is, then I want to pipe up. Because I was at the gym this morning and I didn't hear what was being said, but they were talking about the clash of the Titans because the Phoenix Suns are playing the LA Lakers. And I'm like, they were like, it's Kevin Durant versus LeBron James. And I'm like, really? That doesn't seem very Titanish to me. Growing up in an era of Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and all of these other people that I'm pretty sure can, I mean, like physically whoop LeBron James if they just look at him the wrong way. I'm just not a LeBron James fan.
That's fair.
Never have been and probably never will be, but he's not the GOAT. Period.
No, that's fine. Like for me, everyone just like I always tell everyone that the only sporting event that I care about is the ASU versus U of A football game. It's the only one.
Okay.
Mostly because I grew up like a few miles from ASU. The number of people in my family that have graduated from ASU, and then the fact that U of A is in Tucson, which only makes it worse. We just, I just, they have to lose. Anyways, so I was just trying to be funny because it's Arizona and Texas in the World Series, But
well, it's funny. I have a connection with the Diamondbacks because one of my favorite players used to be a Cub. I think ended his career with the Diamondbacks.
Oh, Mark Grace.
Mark Grace. Yep. So I was super sad.
And he was there when they won the World Series.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's one of those things where I like seeing those kinds of connections, but as far as watching the sport is concerned, I get bored really fast.
That's fair.
I mean, by contrast, my favorite sport is hockey, and it's like boom, 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 boom. Line chases every 30 seconds and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, compare that to, okay, now the pitcher's gonna take 30 seconds to throw the ball. And there he threw it. Now he's going to wait 30 seconds to throw it again. You can't keep my attention that way. Yeah, go ahead.
Kabuki Kid does want to know why you're a Cubs fan. You never lived anywhere near Chicago, or have you?
No, I haven't. I've actually I've been to Chicago exactly twice, and one of them doesn't really count because I was just flying through O'Hare.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. Although I did buy my to this date my one and only Blackhawks hat in Chicago's O'Hare airport, and then I promptly, a few years later, left it on a train in England. Because the train in England was sufferably hot, and that's where a lot of the heat from your body can escape. So I took my hat off and I set it down, and then forgot that I set it down, thought I still had it on my head, walked off the train leaves, and I'm walking towards the bus, and I'm like, well, crap.
Well, I'm out of hat.
Yep. Because I'm never getting that one back. That's for sure.
That's fair. All right. Well, then, I think we've
okay. Well, here's the thing. Let me answer the question. I didn't answer the question. I got off on a tangent. Gaming with ADHD. That's just the way it is. I got distracted. Around here. Yep, that's a rule. So I got off. So how do I follow the Bears and the Blackhawks and the Bulls? Not the Sox.
Well, first
my
off,
dad.
Real quick. Yeah. You did score points as far as baseball goes when you said the Cubs, because let's be honest, the designated hitter rule is stupid. Anyways.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. But I do think it's cool that they follow that designated hitter rule when they're in an American League stadium. I like that idea. But anyway, so I follow all of the Chicago teams because my dad grew up in Anderson, Indiana, which back then the Colts were in Indianapolis. I don't even believe the Pacers were in Indianapolis. They didn't have a hockey team. So the closest teams to where he grew up was Chicago. And so he grew up rooting for all the Chicago teams. I grew up in Texas. My mom was a diehard Cowboys fan. And every Christmas and birthday, I got probably at least one piece of Dallas Cowboys paraphernalia, either to wear on my body, to stick on something that I wear on my body, or to carry my lunch in, you name it. Whatever it was, I probably got it. And her whole side of the family were Cowboys fans. So I grew up rooting for the Cowboys because I was in Texas. That's what you do,
right?
Especially if you don't live in the armpit, which is Houston. And so my dad took us to a Chicago Bears, Dallas Cowboys football game up in Dallas. And I had my Roger Staubach jersey on. I was in full regalia and ready to watch the Cowboys pounce the Bears. The exact opposite happened. And I was deflated, to say the least. And from that day on, that's the day that my mind changed. And I was like, okay, my dad actually knows what he's talking about as far as who the good football team is. So I'm going to be a Chicago Bears fan. And from that day on, I've been a Bears fan.
That's awesome.
About halfway through, I don't know, about in high school, I started watching hockey more often. Towards the end of my high school year, I started playing roller hockey, inline hockey. And then I moved back to Texas when they actually had a rink. And so I was like, I want to try ice hockey out. So I started playing ice hockey in my early college years and played goal. And so I started watching the Blackhawks from then on. And Eddie Belfour was their goalie back then. And, I loved the history that the Chicago, being one of the original 4 or 5 way back in the day. So I just kind of grandfathered them in as far as that's concerned. And then, that's also back when the Bulls were the craze. And so I enjoyed watching the Bulls. I grew up with George Gervin with the Spurs. So the Iceman was something that I enjoyed watching. But, it's just one of those things where if you watch, it's hard to keep track of multiple sports at the same time and watch them all. So I just picked the ones that I enjoyed. And I enjoy hockey the most. I played football in high school, so that's my second most. And, baseball, and I played baseball as a kid, but never anything other than that. Soccer is fun because it's kind of like hockey, just on grass that's like 3 times the size. So
fair enough.
Yeah, so that's pretty much why I am a big Chicago fan. Is I got it from my dad.
That is a great reason to be
Yeah.
a Chicago fan. So, all right. So, folks, what we are doing today, Sam has graciously sent me some containers from Monster Fight Club. That is these right here. I'm going to have a video coming out probably Monday where I actually did an unboxing and like showed how to put them together. I did it right the first time, unlike Sam.
Well, I am not the bee's knees, okay?
Just anyhow,
I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else, people.
That's fair. But real quick, I mean, these are fantastic. These are nice, hard plastic. Like they actually made it so that the doors open up. They're pre-printed. Like the set that this is the Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk Combat Zone one. So it's all Cyberpunk corporations on it. And Sam's like, we're gonna paint these, and I was like super scared because it's like, well, they've already got printing on them, and then I'm gonna prime it, and then I'm gonna lose all that cool printing. But Sam did a really awesome video painting these, and so I'm going to try and duplicate that. Probably fail miserably, as anybody who's followed my channel can tell you. But we're just gonna.
It really is not hard at all. I mean, I'm going to be doing the same thing to the other three that I didn't paint during the video, and then the second part of the video, or later on in the video, I'll be kind of. I suck at graffiti, and I'm going to try it on these, and it's probably going to look horrible, and I'm probably going to have to just start over, but I'll see what I can do. But that's what I'm going to be doing with these. Like, I'm just doing the green one right now and giving it the distress look with some dry brushing, what is it, gunmetal on it. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I
go ahead. I broke your train of thought. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I totally don't even remember what I was saying at this point. But yeah, so we're gonna weather these up. We're gonna see how cool we can make them look. Sam already did some that look amazing.
Wow. I would.
So
you keep on using that word. Do not think it means what you think it means. But I mean, it again, distressing these containers. You're really just, I mean, literally, you're just slapping paint on them, and you're just not slapping a whole lot at the same time. We're using a technique that's basically called dry brushing, where you're trying to use, you fill the paintbrush full of paint, but then you wipe a lot of it out. And then you just kind of go over the edges. And the detail that's on the miniature is actually doing most of the work for you, because you're just trying to catch the paint that's on the raised surfaces, and you're letting the recesses stay the color that they are. So weathering these containers is really a testament, and how easy it is really a testament to how cool the mold is, more than anything else.
Yeah, it's these are like I was sort of expecting like a little bit of like texture to it.
Yeah.
It's not. But it's still very smooth.
Yep.
But again, this is actually working out fairly well.
It's super simple. It's super easy. I'm gonna switch down to my second angle as well now, and we'll see how that goes.
But yeah, so we'll just folks, we're gonna talk. I will keep glancing up and see if I can see chat and questions. So feel free to ask questions. Like, we'll just kind of make it like an AMA kind of a situation.
Yep, absolutely.
And we'll
Kabuki Kid said, I watch basically 3 sports and only here and there baseball, tennis, and hockey. Tennis?
Who watches tennis?
Well, apparently Kabuki Kid does. She's got the entire sport on her shoulders. She's carrying it.
I think so. I'm excited about the World Series because for me, when I was growing up, they had the Suns, but didn't really watch that. And so it was mostly college sports, which weren't ever really televised anyways. So didn't watch those. I went to a lot of ASU games because so I was telling you earlier that tons of my family graduated from ASU, and now when I say tons of my family, I don't have a large family anyways, so it's not like it was that many people,
right?
But grandma worked in the English department as a secretary for ever.
Yeah.
And so she actually had staff tickets on the 40-yard line, halfway up from the field.
Bro, that's amazing.
4 tickets.
Yeah.
For 5 years after she died.
Oh, wow.
Because my dad kept buying them and selling them. I mean, come on, it's the 40-yard line.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. Now, one of the things, just real quick, that I'm kind of doing on mine is that if the cool thing with the smoothness of this is that if you get too much on one of those edges, you can just quickly just wipe it right off, and it comes right off. So that's one of the cool things about using this technique with non-primered plastic, is because it really does allow you to use a lot of the different techniques that if you put acrylic paint on a primer, it's probably going to stick unless you are really able to get to it quick. But because there's no primer on these, we're just going straight to the plastic. The weathering can really kind of pop, and you can really kind of work with it and run your fingers along it, and so it looks less like a brush stroke and more like an actual scratch in the paint or what have you. So that's just something I wanted to mention. Yeah,
and so I was kind of bad and didn't really keep anything to show, but I'm gonna be lazy and not paint the bottom of my cargo containers.
Oh yeah, no, I have not painted the bottom of any of these, so because they're going to be sitting on the thing, on the table as terrain. They're not going to be doing anything else, so you don't need to do that. I do have friends, Vernon Piper, if you're watching, I am talking about you, that will remove a shield from a knight's chest so that you can paint the chest that's going to be under the shield that nobody is ever going to see.
Nope.
And he's like, but I know it's there. I know it's unpainted. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, all right, dude, you do you.
If my brush can't reach it, it's not getting painted.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I am too. Yeah, it's it was not meant to be painted if my brush can't get to it. So
yeah,
get to it.
So folks, if you look, this is the undry brush plastic, and then this, as you all saw me doing it, it's not even a ton, but it just brings it down a little bit, makes it a little bit darker. And I'm still not even done because I'm going to get some strong tone out in a little bit.
Yep.
But as you can see, it does darken it up. Looks a little bit rough, a little bit banged up.
Yep.
So
I'll go ahead and show the difference here. Here are the ones that I've done so far. I can get that in there. Boom, like this.
Bing.
Now these two here have kind of a dark tone in some places. I didn't just splash. I didn't just dunk it in strong tone. I was kind of just on certain parts of it where I think grease and grime would have been built up. That's what I did with these two. I haven't done that to this one yet, but these are the ones that I haven't got to yet. So you can see how how one looks like it's straight out of the factory, or these two look like they're straight out of the factory. This one looks like it's been through, a lot of use, so to speak. And that's really the effect that we're going for. And then later on, I'm going to try to put some graffiti on it and probably fail, but there you go.
Yeah, the blue one is really what told. It's like, okay, I can do that. Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
So, anyhow,
we can go over here.
All
right, that's that. Let's see here. Looks like Kabuki's the only one with me. Well, no, there's a few other. Matthew Vincent says, "Amazing Grace," talking about back when we were talking about Mark Grace. Whoopsick is here. All right, that's cool. That's cool. Matthew said, "Hello. I'm just searching Du Bois." 85 Bears. Yep. I actually had Belfour is the man. He said I actually had a shirt that. It was, the 85 Super Bowl, what was it, 50, I think? No, not 50.
Super Bowl
20.
50 was Super Bowl 50 was 1996.
Yeah, no, it's Super Bowl 20. That's what it was. And they actually offered me $100 to buy the shirt off my back. And I was like, dude, I gotta wear this shirt. I'm not gonna sell it to you. My dad was not perturbed, but he was surprised I did not say yes. And I was like, I'm not gonna walk around without a shirt all day, Dad. And he was like, well, yeah, that's true. But
that's where you ask them to buy you a new shirt,
right? And as part of the price,
and the $100,
right? Yeah. But no, I was just a high schooler. No, I was a high schooler. No, I was in middle school back then. And so
I was going to say, I thought we were closer in age.
Yeah, we are.
85 would put you like my brother's age.
Yeah, no, that's I was let's see, what was that? At 85, that was I think that was probably 6th or 7th grade. One of the two. Pretty sure it was 6th.
About the same for me.
Yeah.
We're old.
You're only as old as you feel. That's what they say, at least.
My youngest turned 18 this past weekend.
My youngest just turned 13, so that's where I'm at.
It is weird to have, all of my kids at the point where it's like, I'm a hair's breadth away from being an empty nester.
Yep. That is true. We were just talking about, I can't remember what the context was, but I was just, it was somebody who made a comment on my channel or something like that. No, it wasn't. It was in a Discord group. That's what it was. It was in a Discord group, and I was saying hi to everybody, and some guy started talking about how he was about to go on a run for lunch, and I said, I usually like to spend my lunch break eating lunch. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll have plenty of time when I get back. And I said, if you get back, you mean? And he was like, well, I'm not in that bad of a shape. And I'm like, no. That was just dark humor, dude. And I told him, I said, I usually
have you heard of the chupacabra?
I told him, I said, I'm the guy that usually will wait until after we sing the birthday song to someone. And then I will say, congratulations, you're a year closer to death. And I'm that guy. And I said that gets met with, mixed reactions usually. And so I just was like, dude, it's okay. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I had to.
Pro tip.
when you're at a funeral
Oh
and
dear.
somebody asks how you're doing, don't say, I'm not dead yet.
Please tell me you did not do that, Brian.
Why else would I tell the story?
Oh my goodness. Brian.
I'd been saying it for months. It was
Yes.
on autopilot.
Yes,
I didn't
get it.
even think about it.
Oh my. Oh my, Brian. Well, I'm doing better than that guy over there, so I can't complain, I guess.
The worst part about that is this was like 15 years ago. And it was a guy that I graduated high school with.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like it basically he was in a motorcycle accident.
Ow.
And the way, like, he worked at the airport, but there was tons of construction at the time, and the way to get there, like, literally the fire department couldn't find him.
Oh,
because the roads were just like that convoluted.
Man.
So it was one of those where it did suck because he was my age, and then yes, I said something that stupid.
Well, the bright side is you realize that it was what it was,
and it wasn't to family. It was like,
okay,
it was like another guy. Yeah,
that's probably
it was like yeah, it was another guy that, like, we'd known from high school, but like it just came out of my mouth, and I'm like, oh my.
Red alert. Red alert. I have now lost friends.
I don't think I've seen the guy since then.
Well, no, he died.
No, I mean the guy that I said that to.
Oh. Okay. I was like, come on, Brian. Come on, let's keep up here. The red one probably got more distressed than I wanted, but we'll just say that's good to go.
Yeah, I don't think I'm distressing them enough, but they're coming out like they're fine. They're fine. It's fine. Yeah. It's fine.
I mean, this is without adding it to adding any dark tone to it. So a lot of this really bright stuff that's in here is going to get toned down by that dark. This is where I kind of got a little bit too much.
Are you using dark tone or strong tone?
Strong. Well, I've got both, and I'm going to probably try both, but I've got both of them here. I've got dark tone and strong tone. Strong tone has more of a browny color to it, and dark tone is more of a black color. So since I'm wanting to get that grimy look, I'll probably go with dark tone. But in those areas where maybe
there's the brown from strong would be more grimy than the black.
I don't know. I'm thinking like oil and not necessarily dirt. I'm thinking like oily grime, not dirty grime, if that makes sense.
It does. I'm just it's look. What do we have to turn this into Thunderdome again? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, buckle up, Buttercup. I'll bring the Mad if you bring the Max.
Best Mad Max movie.
I would probably say the original.
Okay.
With Mel Gibson way back in the day.
There's only been 3 Mad Max movies.
Yeah, I know. But I'm not counting the new one that came out with they
did a new one?
Yeah. It wasn't Mad Max. What was it? It was Mad Max, but it was they got somebody else to play Mad Max. They got somebody else it was in the same universe. I can't remember what they called it now. It was all the rage.
It was Mad Max Fury Road, but I'm making
Fury Road. Yeah.
I'm making a horrible joke about that. There's only 3 Mad Max movies.
Oh, I see.
Like there's only 3 Indiana Jones movies.
Oh, I see. Well, okay. Now there we'll have to diverge a little bit. I actually like, and I think it's the same with Star Wars. I don't know how you are with Star Wars, but I'm of the opinion that if I get to go see another Star Wars movie in the theater, I'm good. I'm going to be happy. I'm not going to criticize it. I'm not going to, because they say that Star Wars fans are the worst enemies of Star Wars or something to that effect. And I can't agree with them more, because it's like every time a Star Wars movie comes out, everybody that claims to be a Star Wars fan acts like they hated it. And it's just like, how can you not enjoy this? I really had fun with it.
So I am mixed. Number one, I won't take anybody's fun away from them. So
Sure.
Even with all of these criticisms, if you enjoy it, great. That's fine. I subscribe to the Machete Order.
Uh-oh.
Have you heard of that?
Nope.
You have
Doesn't sound friendly though.
No, it's actually real. I don't know why it's called that. It just is. But basically somebody asked a guy, they're like, "Hey, what order should we watch Star Wars in?" And he wrote this thing called the Machete Order. And the premise is that, well, so the order, I'll lay that out first, is 4, 5, 2, 3, 6. Okay. Reason for it is,
and you just leave one out of it.
So the reason for it is, number one, let's be honest. Number 2 gets kind of creepy when you think about number 1, where Anakin's 7 years old and Amidala is however old she is, significantly older.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Sure. And
pretty much, like, at least this guy's premise is that everything that gets covered in 1 pretty much gets covered in 2 and 3 anyways. Like, you get you get his attachment to his mom, you get you find out that he was a slave, that there's all sorts of like all that information from 1 comes out in 2.
Sure.
2 and 3. But the premise is like, so Empire Strikes Back. What's the big reveal of Empire Strikes Back?
Spoilers, bro. Come on, man. I'm just kidding.
Spoiler alert doesn't count for a 40-year-old movie.
You're my people, Brian. Don't worry.
But I mean, but what's the big reveal of Empire?
That Leia loves Han.
That's the big reveal?
No, it's one of them. Yes, I'm messing with it. It's one of them though. But yes, I get it. Yes. Yeah, Luke is the son of Vader. Yes.
Right. Vader is Luke's father. Okay. Yeah. And what is Luke's reaction to it?
No!
That's not true!
Yeah.
That's impossible!
Yeah.
And what does he do?
He kills him. He tries to kill himself.
Right. He's like, nope, I'm done. I'm out. We're peace. And he jumps.
Yes.
So you get no resolution on that. Okay. And then if you think about it, in Matthew Vinson, they killed Spock in that one, right?
Ah, yes. Welcome.
But then we go to Return of the Jedi, and where's the questioning of Vader being Luke's father?
What do you mean questioning?
There isn't any. Luke's like, yep, it's my dad. I got to try and rescue him. It's like, you jumped off a cliff and, or down a chute.
Yeah.
Denying that it was the truth. So how did you come to this realization? Anyways, so there's a little bit of a hole there. So that's why the guy says about the machete order that you go, like, you watch 4 and 5, big reveal, Luke, I'm your father. And then you backtrack and you go to 2 and 3 and you see, oh, here's Anakin and he becomes a Jedi and then he becomes Darth Vader. And so you get the proof of, oh, yes, he is Luke's father. And then you go into 6.
Well, Kabuki Kid is pointing something out. Did you miss that scene in Empire where he not Empire, at the beginning of Jedi, where Yoda confirms, he says, your father, he is. He asks Yoda. So
that's fair.
That is confirmed.
Well, but remember, we are watching the movies. It like put it in the movie context. So yes, he's good at it's basically the way he describes it is that it's a flashback because you've told this to the audience and then the audience is like, no way. And so in like a literary sense, you go back and so here's this flashback scene where you see the rise and fall of Anakin and he becomes Vader. And then you pick up. And so you can have that that essentially just a 2-second comment of Yoda. Yeah, nope, it's totally true. But we also, it just confirms that, hey, yes, we just watched this whole thing happen.
Right.
Anyways, the point is we're going off of the movies as published.
Sure.
Anyways, so I like that from a storytelling perspective. I think it makes sense, but I mean, you can watch it in numerical order. You can ignore whichever ones you don't. I don't know, whatever. But But I am a fan of the machete order just because I do think it helps with the storytelling. Now, as far as the new stuff, Solo is vastly underrated. Even though
I completely agree with that.
I do like the have you seen the Honest trailer for Solo?
No. Sure, it's funny though.
Oh, it's hilarious because the point it basically makes is, it's the story of how Han Solo got all of his stuff.
Yep.
It's
pretty much
how he got his ship, how he got his hood ornament, how he got, it just lists all of these things. It's like
all of those things. Yep, exactly.
That's funny. Let's see. Kabuki Kid is saying best to watch them in chronological order. Now, hold on. Is chronological order the order in which they were released, or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Because I'm gonna say that, look into it. The machete order, just Google machete order and Star Wars and read it. It'll make more sense than I made. So there's that. But I like Solo. Solo, everyone else is agreeing that, Solo was good.
Yeah.
Rogue One was a lot of fun. Although I did hear something recently that kind of, poked a giant hole into Rogue One.
Really?
So, yes.
Okay.
All right.
What was that?
So, the whole premise of Rogue One is the guy that designed the Death Star had to build in this weakness, and then they had to steal the plans so that they could find the weakness that he had put in there for them to find so they could go blow it up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if he snuck the weakness in and the Empire did not know of said weakness, why was the trench leading up to the exhaust port so heavily defended?
I never. I've always kind of. It wasn't just the exhaust. It wasn't just the trench. That's where all of the turbo laser batteries were located. Because they were pockmarked all over that thing. They had turbo lasers all over the Death Star.
Sure, but there were also turbo lasers and stuff in the trench.
Right.
Firing down the trench.
Sure. Yeah.
Not just out into space.
I would say that's a problem. Yeah, I would say that's a problem of perspective more than it is of plot line. Well, because in perspective, in shooting the film, there has to be an up and a down, whereas in space there isn't an up and a down. So those turbo lasers, and again, I'm just spitballing here, but
when I say down the trench, I mean along it, lengthwise through the trench.
I know, and that's what I mean. I think it's a matter of perspective. They weren't actually shooting down the trench; they were just currently positioned there because there were enemy fighters. They were shooting down the trench because there were enemy fighters in the trench. So they're shooting at the fighters. They aren't necessarily just protecting the exhaust port.
That's fair. I'll concede that point, but it's still really heavily defended getting to and into the trench and taking said shot.
Yeah.
So now I think Rogue One is still a fine movie. Don't get me wrong. Is somebody just pointed that out? I'm like, yeah, that is a bit of a plot hole, but whatever. Find me a story without a plot hole.
Yeah, exactly. There's always going to be something you can kind of shake a stick at, but I'm just one of those that I'm like, I'd rather just enjoy the movie than have to worry about all of that kind of stuff. But I think the gray one turned out the best, honestly. Check this out. I haven't done the top yet I'm going to work on the top with the dark tone, but check this out.
That is really good.
I like the way that one turned out really well. It's just got a lot of nice grime. The lighter gray just made it look really dirty when you put that dark tone on it. I like it. Now I'm going to mess it up on the top here.
Agreed. Yeah, Kabuki Kid brings up another great plot hole. Leia claiming she remembers her mom, and then you watch the prequels.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So yeah, there are plot holes, and that's why I say Rogue One is still a fun movie.
Again, just playing devil's advocate here. When Luke asked her if she remembers her mother, she just said, what was it? Oh, she said something like
feelings mostly or something.
Yeah, feelings mostly or something. And that can actually be, those kinds of things can actually be transferred within the womb. But here's the thing. We're neglecting the fact that Leia was Force attuned as well.
And also she was adopted. Was she talking about Padme, or was she talking about her adopted mother?
Oh, she was probably talking about her adoptive mother, but I thought you were going down the track that there's no way that she could remember her mom because
if she's a Force sensitive, then
yeah, I mean, but she is Force sensitive, so she could have had premonitions about her mother through the Force, because we do have Force attuned people having those kinds of things all the time in the universe. So
sure.
That's
we're thinking way too deeply on this anyways, but it's
absolutely fun. It was very beautiful, kind, but sad, Kabuki says. That's the quote. Best you can argue is that it was Force feelings. That's exactly where I was going with it, because I think that's all you really have that's available to you at that point.
But regardless, I mean, like but that also just proves my point of find me a story without a plot hole.
Sure. Yeah. Nothing is above reproach.
So,
all right.
Now, as far as the sequels are concerned, there I'm not as kind. Force Awakens, that was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's be honest. That was almost a shot-for-shot remake of New Hope.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say that I enjoy the movies, that does not mean that I will stand and die on a hill for them. But at the same time, I really enjoyed going and watching all of the new actors take on their roles. I really enjoyed Rey as an actual character. But yeah, I mean, it's basically, she's basically Luke.
Well, and they have a Death Star and a trench run and like all of it. So now I say that, and at the time, and that movie was okay. But at the time, like I walked out of the movie and it's like that was New Hope.
Yeah.
But I cut them a lot of slack because I thought they were doing that
on purpose.
Because think about how much backlash there was to the prequels
when
they came out.
Sure.
And to me, I thought they were trying to say, hey, we're just going to tell you good Star Wars stories.
Yeah.
So look, we went back to form, we went back to the well, and so we're going to start here and pick it up. And it was like, all right, I'll trust you on it. And then the second one. And I did not like the second one.
Really?
And I don't like and I don't hold it against any of the actors. The actors were all fine.
Yeah.
It just the story didn't make any sense. Like they make the big deal about Luke's lightsaber, but okay, well, how did she get Luke's lightsaber? And
then he just chucks it.
Yeah, and like let's be honest, they ruined Luke in those movies.
I will agree with that. I thought that they made Luke into this total jerk that he never was. Did he try too hard sometimes? Yes. Did he make mistakes? Absolutely. But they just turned him into a jerk.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a character progression that I didn't think needed to happen at all.
Yeah. And it like I mean, like the original movies, there's this sense of hope, this, like, yes, good can win. And then you get the sequels and it's like, nope, it's all crap. And, screw you all. Nope, I'm not going to teach anyone to be a Jedi anymore. It's like,
yeah,
like I'm sorry. The expanded universe was way better than the sequel universe.
And that was my main beef with all of the sequel trilogy, is the fact that they just turned a blind eye to such a rich extended universe that had been worked on by, I mean, come on, Timothy Zahn, for crying out loud. You could have just done the Thrawn trilogy.
We wouldn't have Star Wars if it wasn't for well, okay. A lot of people will say the West End role-playing game, but if it wasn't for those Timothy Zahn novels,
right,
that, we would not have had more Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the and I think Disney caught on to it because they did Rebels and they used a lot of the stuff.
Did they do Rebels, or was that already in production under Lucasfilm before Disney?
Maybe it was. I don't keep track of all of that minutia, but I could definitely see where they just kind of bought it. But I don't know. I just think that they had so much that they could have used.
Mm-hmm.
Even some of the stuff that I didn't like the New World Order books that had come out.
The Yuzon Vong.
Yeah. I didn't really enjoy all of that stuff. I thought that was a little too out there. But I think that would have been better than any of the stuff that they had come out to. And when they came out and said, no, we're not going to use any of the extended Star Wars universe stuff. We're gonna make our own stuff. And then what they came out with, some of it had tinges of that extended universe. And they were just like, yeah, well, this is new, and this is, and
we're gonna mine it for what we want, and we're gonna do it our way.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, well, that's kind of crappy. But
yeah,
still, at the end of the day, though, I still really enjoyed going to watch the movies.
Sure.
And being a Star Wars fan, I couldn't not enjoy myself.
Good. And I am honestly glad to hear that. I tried. I did not.
Yeah.
I think so I didn't go see Rise of Skywalker in the theater. And it had come out after my oldest left on his mission to Mexico.
Yeah.
And then they sent everybody home in January. No, not January. Like March of 2020.
Yeah.
And so we went and bought the DVD when he came home. It's like, okay, fine, we'll go get it. And I fell asleep, and I've never tried to watch it again.
You fell asleep. Oh my.
So, all right. So real quick, Sam.
I get it.
Here, I'm gonna make me big on the screen.
Okay, go ahead.
So how are you doing this? Am I supposed to go like all the way across the edge with the wash? Am I supposed to go all the way down? Like how? Like
what I'm usually doing? What I've done is I take my brush full of the dark tone and just go straight across the top and straight across the bottom, and then I pick and choose what I want to kind of feather up from that.
So like this, just.
I would go faster. I would go faster than that, but I mean, that's just a technique difference. Yeah, that looks good. And then choose what you want to feather down. Like those pools, I would maybe pull some of that stuff down and let it just kind of rest in those recesses.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll get some more in there.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing on mine right now. Is I'm just and I'm not even really putting that much. You were doing a better job than I am. I'll put it that way.
But I'm copying you.
Yeah, I know you're doing a better job at it than I am, though. Makes me a good coach. See,
exactly. I'm not the best at the game, but I can coach the pros.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, no, I that's kind of been my approach to Star Wars. I'm still interested in like the old stuff.
Yeah.
The new Disney stuff, like the first season or two of The Mandalorian were really good.
Yeah.
Somebody that I watch actually made a good point about the biggest problem with the Book of Boba Fett. They made the Mandalorian Boba Fett, but they weren't willing to risk Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And so then when they do Boba Fett, it's like, oh, how do we do this? And then they have to, they're calling it Boba Fett, but essentially they're making a new character.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Yep.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that as well. But this is another place where I think I've diverged from most of the fandom that's out there right now. Is I have enjoyed every single bit of everything that Disney Plus has put out as far as the. Now, I will say that, but let me provide the caveat. It usually turns out that the first few episodes, I'm not on board yet, and it's almost like it's a almost every single series, I get 3 episodes in, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to watch the 4th. And then I watch the 4th, and then I'm like, okay, I'm all in. That's how it's been every single time with Andor, and Andor's my least favorite one. Andor's my least favorite one because the first 3 episodes was, oh, look, here's Ando walking across a pier at the beach, and he's brooding. Nice. He's also not talking to anybody. Now he's walking down a dark hallway, and he gives some side to a person, but then he doesn't say anything to him. He just keeps walking. And now he's walking down a street, and he's not saying anything to them either. He's just walking. So the first 3 episodes is like Andor walking around. And I'm like, cool,
I guess,
but not cool at the same time. And then I think it was episode 4 where everything just kind of clicked and started to come together. And that's how it was for The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian, the music, his little, theme of like, it's kind of like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly theme music, but it's not. It's more like
that's what it is.
Modern version of it, kind of like. And I was like, okay, this is not Star Wars. This is some space opera. This is more like Firefly than it is anything else, which I was a fan of Firefly too, but this isn't Star Wars. I want this to be Star Wars. That's how I felt for the first 3 episodes of Mandalorian. And then the 4th episode, I think it was, is when all the Mandalorians come up and start protecting Mando so that he can get away with the child. And I'm like, yeah, this is cool.
That was cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So I'm like, but almost all of the things, and I get it. They're like building the characters in those first 3 episodes, so you're not really seeing everything. I get that, but it's really hard. It was really hard for me. I just want to jump in and start enjoying it.
Right.
And it was hard for me to do that with all of them. But usually by the 3rd or 4th episode, I was like, all right, this is cool. They did a good job. And what's really awesome, what really helped with that is I watched some of the behind the scenes stuff, some of the, I can't remember what they're called now, but it's where they actually had like a round table discussion about why, no, not why, but where each of the directors came from in their love of Star Wars. So they had Dave Filoni on there, and they had all of the other guys talking about all of the stuff that they worked on and how much they've loved Star Wars from like being like 6 years old, and how that love of the intellectual property is fueling everything that they're doing now. And that really helped me see more of the idea that this is not Disney making these movies or shows. This is people who really love what George Lucas birthed making these shows. Disney's just paying for it. And I was like, okay, this is cool. So I don't know. I've just, maybe I'm being too, I don't know, merciful, but because there has been some stuff, Mary Poppins Leia is one of the weirdest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Because when you
the whole maneuver was the dumbest thing.
When you get I think Leia, Mary Poppinsing herself back into the ship is strange.
I mean,
I mean, that's really strange.
If you're a Force user, I mean, I can kind of see that happening.
Jedis die, dude. And Leia was never a Jedi. I know in the extended universe, she trained herself and she got stronger, but Leia was never a Jedi. She was Force attuned and she was able to use the Force, but she was never a Jedi.
Right.
If Jedis can die, Leia can die too, especially if she's in the vacuum of space and her body has just turned to ice. That's something that I couldn't, even with all of my Star Wars fandom, I tried to do everything I could to reconcile that with, and I just couldn't. I was like, then, if Jedis could do that, then why weren't they using that as to their advantage? Like, oh, you're about to shoot my ship. Well, I'm going to eject myself into the vacuum of space, take out my lightsaber, and
just carve my way into your ship.
And I'm going to use your ship now because I can do that because I'm a Jedi. It just doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me.
That's fair.
But okay, now I'm at a loss because let's see. Oh, okay. Here we go. We got some stuff. Kabuki is just talking. I think Kabuki might be bored. She's having a conversation.
We have not been paying that much attention to Kabuki. Very sorry, Kabuki.
Yeah. We're here, Kabuki. We'll talk to you. Mandalorian theme is great. Best non-John Williams theme. Okay, I can see that. Those behind the scenes discussions were fun. Yes, they were. Yeah, Andor is my least favorite. If I was ranking them, I think Andor may be the best thing since the original trilogy. Yes, I just opened my mouth a little bit. Now, I don't get me wrong. Towards the end of the series, it was really good. I was riveted, but at the beginning, I was like, "This is trash." Dave Filoni definitely has a good vision for the most part. Star Wars is often played hard and loose with the Force. Well, of course. It's the sonic stream. Yeah, it's the one thing. And yes, Kabuki said, "You know me, I endlessly rant." He does. That's funny though. Yeah. Yep. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. And I usually try to give it a little bit of a pass. All right, I'm just going to do some weird stuff, I think. I'm going to try I got my paint pens out. I don't use them hardly ever. They're Sharpie paint pens, and I hardly ever use them, so I'm going to see what I can do.
I have some Gundam ones. I haven't tried them.
Well, I think you have to push on them in order to get them the paint to start flowing. So I'm going to start doing that. And nothing's coming out.
And I think I've got one done.
Yeah?
So, but I'm going to let it dry and then we'll show it off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
here it comes. Here it comes.
Is it working?
It's working. It's not working very well, though.
So what are you trying to do with the paint pens?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Stop rushing me, Bryan.
Look, we are on a time schedule. It's been an hour. Holy crap, it's been an hour.
Right? That's what I'm talking about. So what I'm basically doing right now is I'm coloring in the circles of the Arasaka logo on the black one with the red pen. And I'm doing it kind of not well on purpose.
Oh, this is what you're going to do for the graffiti.
Yeah. I'm just going to act like somebody kind of had fun.
That's a really good idea. Using a paint pen for graffiti.
Yeah.
Instead
I put
of
it over. to my second screen so you can kind of see what I'm doing. But now, I think what I might do is just like provide like a little bit of a highlight. But again, this is like not, I am not saying this is what you should do. I'm just like providing another level of possible detail to this.
Sure. No, I actually think that using a paint pen like that would be a better, well, not necessarily better, but for us level of painters, a better way of doing graffiti, because you can get it more quote unquote handwriting like than you necessarily could with a brush.
So maybe, can you see that? Does that, I don't know what that does, but
it just looks like a nice little alternative.
Yeah. Like somebody just had fun with the logo.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's it's terrain. It's just breaking it up.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, I went into this like I don't want to do this. They have cool logos and everything on them, and then it's just like, wait, I can do these couple of little things, and like already these are looking infinitely better. I don't think mine are as good as yours, but I still think they're better.
We'll see. I think they all look pretty good. I like it. So this is like looking like pseudo like Memorial Day-ish with the Arasaka turning into like poppies or something like that. So,
okay.
Interesting. But I think it's going to look pretty neat. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side for now, but we'll see how it goes.
So let's talk games a little bit then.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what's new on Sam's game table?
Right now, dude, we played Planetfall and Age of Wonders Planetfall on and then Jekyll and Hyde versus Scotland Yard on a stream last Friday. And because a buddy of mine sent them to me, he picked them up at Essen and then sent them to me, and we played those, and it was super fun. Both of them were really fun. I haven't taught the second one to I haven't taught either of them to Jess yet, but I'm going to, because it was that fun. It was just really fun. But okay, I think that's all I'm going to do for Arasaka. Just the little thingies.
I don't even have any cool pens to do that with. That's okay. I'm just getting them weathered. And this, like, look at it. Look at this. Just like brown, like half on the logo.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like it.
That's really cool. I thought about, when I was preparing for this morning, I thought about getting some Agrellan Earth from the one of the Citadel's technical paints.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about adding some of that onto it, but I don't know that I'm going to do that, because Agrellan Earth is the stuff that you use for like bases and stuff like that to make it look like they're standing in mud or what have you.
Oh, got it. Yeah, so, no, I wouldn't do that, because the containers would be dirty, but they wouldn't be caked in mud.
It depends on where you are.
That's fair.
But Night City is probably not filled with mud.
No, I would think not. Yeah, for me, the funniest thing that, like, we've gotten to the table a lot lately. So when we went to England, I made the wife a promise because she knew I would go to game stores. So I made a promise I wouldn't buy anything there that I could get here. Okay. Because then we don't have to pack it, international transaction, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
But when you're on vacation and it's your anniversary and like she decides to go to the jewelry shop on the cruise ship, and $400 later, it's hard to cash that in when you get home. I'm just teasing. I'm glad she got it. It was fun. But I because I asked this on your live stream what you kind of thought about it. But I was having just like I wanted to find some games in England that I couldn't get at home, and it was next to impossible.
Yeah.
So
didn't we talk about this? Maybe it was like on a
I sent it in as a chat during one of your and Jesse's Q&As. But I didn't get to really tell my side because typing in chat is kind of a pain on your phone sometimes.
Yeah, I get it.
So what was funny is we went into this like little tourist trap gift shop early while we were there, and I saw this card game called Mind the Gap, and I'm like, oh, I want to get that, but I don't want to haul it around, so I didn't get it that day.
Wait, what was it? Was it a sign? Is that what you said it was?
No, it's a game called Mind the Gap.
Okay, all right, yeah.
We were in a souvenir shop.
Understood.
And but I didn't get it that day.
Yeah.
And so when we were getting ready to come home, it's like, okay, I still haven't found this. We have time. She wanted to go get better pictures of Big Ben than we had taken the day that we went over into that area. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I know this game is over there. We're going to get the pictures. So we'll go in the shop and I'll get my game.
Yeah.
Semi bad idea. I say semi bad idea because I paid about twice what I needed to. I discovered that later. But I also I wasn't necessarily going to find it again anyways. But so I found the game, I got it, brought it home, and for all intents and purposes, it's Uno.
What, Mind the Gap?
Yes.
Oh my.
And we've been playing the crap out of it.
One thing that I want to say, I'm here on my phone. I did have to respond to a couple of people in the industry that were texting me, but what I am looking at is I'm getting pictures of graffiti that I took pictures of as I was passing the rail yard today. So that's why I'm on my phone. I'm not just, I'm not just providing, whatever, Brian, go ahead. Keep talking.
I'm clearly upset, Sam. Anyways.
I just want to make sure it's clear because people are like, man, he's so rude. Oh my gosh.
So Kabuki Kid, yes, Mind the Gap is about getting around on the subway. So that's one thing that's kind of interesting. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's Uno. I'm going to straight up say, yep, it's Uno. But instead of like Uno where it has the 4 suits, red, blue, green, and yellow, this one, all of the cards are subway stops, but they can have 1 to 6 different subway lines at the stop. And so it actually made some interesting strategies because, so real quick, did you know that Uno has a scoring system?
Yeah.
I didn't learn that till like a year ago.
you have to get, the whole point is to get rid of your cards so you don't score points. And then you play to whoever has, you play until somebody gets 500 points. Whoever has the least points wins, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I didn't learn that until a couple years ago.
You call yourself a gamer. Oh my gosh.
I'm not a good one. The rule in the house is Kim doesn't have to win. She just wants me to lose.
Yep.
And I don't even win that often. Anyways, so, but it's interesting because it does make some interesting strategies in this because so the more lines that are on the card, or like the more lines meet at that particular subway stop, the more points the card is worth. So do you want to play the single line card that, you know, is harder to play but worth very few points? Or do you want to play the one that has 6 lines on it and it's worth a ton of points, but you don't want to be stuck with it at the end of the round? So I don't know. It's been kind of interesting, and for some reason that's what we've been playing like a crap ton of lately.
Well, that's cool though. I mean, it's cool because you know you have that connection of it being something that you guys picked up, you know, on your own, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because right. That's also the extra fun is that, you know, we're like, oh yeah, we went to that one, or like they have King's Cross Station.
Yep.
You know, as one of the cards, which we never went to, like just to say that we did it.
Oh really?
Yeah,
You didn't go to King's Cross? Wow, that was one of the places. I'm not even a Harry Potter fan. That was one of the places I wanted to go to.
Look, again, I'm bad at this. But anyways, it was kind of interesting. The fun thing though, and I haven't tried the others yet. I actually found 2 more games, all from the same company, all based on the subway. And but it was funny because like we ended up like stuck in London because they decided to cancel our flight home.
What?
Oh yeah.
We're just gonna cancel your flight home because we're jerks.
Yeah, basically. It was such a mess. Anyways, but we got to go to a soccer game, so that was cool.
Oh, that's awesome. What soccer game?
This
is where we find out if I'm actually going to be jealous.
QPR, Queens Park Rangers.
Yeah. And
so it's like and Swansea.
Okay, I don't care.
I was actually surprised that I was excited about a tie.
Well, yeah.
Like, well, that's one of the things that I've always thought was kind of dumb about soccer. Is like, why is the game ending in a tie? But
okay, I'm using this. I'm just going to show it. I'm using this. It says Soral, SORAL, but I'm going to change the R to a C, so it says SoCal.
There you go.
Because I actually did used to live in Southern California, but let's see.
But yeah, so that's the like soccer. Like, so Kabuki Kid said soccer. There's another game you'd have to pay me to watch. Yeah, I don't care about soccer either. But this guy that I met on interwebs, like we're stuck there for another night. I'm like, okay, hey, what's something we should do because we're stuck in London for a night? And he's like, oh, my team's playing. You should go check them out. And I said it to Kim just kind of as a joke. And as soon as I said it, I'm like, that would actually be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So we're like, okay. So of course we're going, and it's my friend's team. So I mean, I'm not English nor a soccer fan, so of course I'll be a fan of his team.
Right.
And like in like the first 5 minutes, the other team scores a goal.
Yeah.
And then like the rest of the half, like QPR cannot get the ball onto the opposing side of the field, like at all. And so I'm just like, I mean, it's fun. They're playing hard, clearly, but clearly it's not going to be.
It's not going to be the fairy tale ending.
Yeah, no. But then like the last 5 minutes of the game, QPR manages to score and ties the game, and then it ends, and it's like,
oh wow,
okay, well, that was like I'm actually excited that they tied.
Yeah,
which
that's cool, actually.
But it was very that is one, like I've watched soccer. I've had kids in soccer. I couldn't care less at all.
No, yeah. I get you.
But watching it live was actually a lot of fun. So
yeah, watching. I used to coach soccer, so I'm actually a little bit more of a fan than probably you or Kabuki, but see, I was, if you went to a Manchester United game, I was about to just stop streaming and be mad at you for the rest of the day. Because that would have been rather disappointing.
I don't even know if any other teams were playing. I mean, they probably were.
Yeah.
But
I've been to okay, this looks mildly okay, but I don't know. Let's see. I'll put it up. Let's get the verdict. Here we go. So this is the first thing that I did with my little graffiti pens. This is the second thing that I'm doing so far. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's kind of neat. Once I get it finished, I'm going to get it colored in. I've got the letters in it now, and now I'll do some some shading and some outlining and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it'll look okay. It'll look like graffiti at least.
Yeah, no, I mean, okay, number one, it doesn't have to look perfect. It's graffiti.
Sure, exactly.
No, that looks great.
So let's see here.
Now I'm kind of jealous of your paint pens.
Well, you can go buy them.
I can. I know where Hobby Lobby is.
Yeah, they're not that expensive either.
Actually, I'm thinking I like this this larger brush a little bit better for the wash.
Yeah. I usually use larger brushes for washes and for dry brushing, unless I'm dealing with like a really small area.
The funny thing is, this brush right here I use for like everything. I have a teeny tiny brush that I will use if I need a teeny tiny brush for some reason.
Right.
But for the most part, it's that brush doing like 99% of the work.
Sure.
So
there we go. Almost done. How long are we going to go, Brian? I'm just wondering. I don't care.
I usually go for about 2 hours.
Okay. That's good.
You can bail on
me. I'm just trying to figure out how if I'm gonna be able to get this finished. I'm gonna try to.
I'm actually awake right now.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
I am,
as opposed to sleeping while you stream. That might be problematic.
I haven't done that yet. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
No one's told me I have.
I can't remember.
I just Like I don't regret all of the overtime, but it was a lot of overtime. So,
well, helping you get those bills paid, so it's all good.
Exactly.
But yeah, it is hard.
So next game question.
Yep.
Tamashi.
Yes.
What did you think of that?
I quite enjoyed it, actually.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that. We did some things wrong, in that we let's see, when we were firing off those programs, we were not supposed to fire off multiples at the same time, because when you fire off one, it removes those from it. And then you are supposed to, and then you can fire off your next one. So you can fire off ones that are chained, but they will, I haven't read the rules, and I'm just going off of what I've heard people say on the line, on the comments, and what JT has said. So we did something that was not quite right with firing off the programs. But that notwithstanding, I really enjoyed everything that game had to offer. I just thought it was really good. Whatchamacallit?
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, cyberpunky feel to it. It just was really neat to me.
Okay. Yeah, I still have not punched mine out to play it.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask, how well do you think that would play? Like, you have a setup and I have a setup.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you, honestly.
Because I want to find a way to do like some of these games remotely.
Yeah. Well, I was just talking with somebody else about doing something like that. I can't remember who it was now, but that idea of I have it set up here, and then somebody, I know who it was now. I can't say it, but I know who it was now. Never mind. But it's one of those things where it's not the best, but it can be viable, but it's just not, it's not the best, because it's hard to, man, going up over these things is really difficult to have not look weird. But
this gray one, the paint is spotting a lot more, or the wash is spotting a lot more. So I'm struggling here to keep it a little more uniform.
But yeah, no, that's something I'd be down for trying. Absolutely. I'm always down to try stuff. I just don't know how it would work, how well it would work. I know we could get it to work, but I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I just like I know, like, especially like during COVID, a lot of people, would use like Tabletop Simulator.
Yep.
Every time I tried to use it, it's like, this is awkward at best.
Yep. Very much agree with that sentiment.
All right. I think my blue crate is mostly dry. Wonder if anyone's even in my chat still.
I'm sure there are.
I haven't seen any comments. Anyways, but that's... I do like this. Man, I want more of these.
Right? Well, I mean, that kind of leads us into, they are running their Kickstarter right now for these. So
Oh, that's true. Oh,
people can go get this stuff. And you know it's all kind of new, but you can go get this. It's like ready to go. As far as backing the Kickstarter is concerned. So
well, and I mean the crates are available like now, so you can already get if you just want crates. But yeah, I'd forgotten I had pulled this up to show everyone since we were showing off the Monster Fight Club stuff. Okay, this boat is ridiculous.
Yeah. That's one of John's, John Kovleski. He's the owner. That's one of his like babies. He loves that thing. He used to be a merchant marine, and he loves that kind of stuff. And that's something that he personally worked on for a long time.
And only $3,500.
It too can be yours. I mean, low price.
I don't necessarily blame them for that. I mean, let's be honest. It's like what, like how big is this dumb thing?
It's huge. It's huge. It's like their entire when they go to conventions, they have it set up on a table, a 6-foot table, and it's like 6 feet long.
7.5 if you have the 4 container sections in the middle.
Yeah.
So
there you have it.
But then they've got the cranes and all the crates, and I mean it's just this thing is so nuts. But actually, folks, I will point this out. If you want some of these shipping containers, where is it? There's a discount code. Yes, here it is. Try out a container set. 50% off with checkout code pre-pledge container. And you get it $25 plus shipping.
Yep.
Which is literally half off.
Yep.
So
it's a great deal.
I was say I might have to do that one. Anyhow, all right. Now I don't know what to. I don't have cool paint pens like Sam. I'm super jealous.
So just
it's fine. I'm gonna set them over there. You know what? I'm gonna bring out.
You're just gonna do it freehand and make mine look crap with freehand paint, and then. So here we go. This is what I've got so far. I chose to do red on the background, so I think it looks all right. I think it looks pretty cool.
I absolutely love that. That is fantastic.
It's getting there. Absolutely. Let's see here. Oh, it looks like Tom. Tom is doing a. He's into model railroad companies. Looks like. Railroad ones can be really nice. More railroad enthusiasts are often hardcore. That's my other hobby, he says. Tom and Kabuki are my 2 moderators. So apparently it's just them in here. They're going to be moderating each other apparently. So I guess we'll definitely be they'll be behaving themselves. It seems.
I mean, one would hope.
Yes.
This is a family show. Or something.
Oh, more paint. Need more paint in the pen. There we go.
Okay, I am actually going to leave my containers alone, and I'm going to get some base coating on the miniatures.
Oh, good idea.
Because I've got them primed, but, you know, primer never catches quite everything.
Right.
So I usually go in with a base coat. So anything coming out that you're excited for?
There have been some stuff that has come out of Essen that I'm really excited to get. And I was also fortunate enough to have some friends over there send me that stuff too. So I'm really looking forward to getting the new 20th anniversary edition of Almond Ray. And I also have what is it called? The crap. That's not the name of it, by the way.
I already have poo. I'm not sure I need crap.
Well, you never know. You could complete the set. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get a freaking line on this stupid paint pen right now, so that's why I'm having. What was it? It was Carceneros, I think Carceneros or something like that. It's from I can't remember the name of the company. Ares Games, I think. And it was one that I was really looking forward to because it had a real historical. It was kind of like the battle between some rebels and a government, and down in South America. And oh, come on, I have tainted my red pen with blue, and now it's giving me a lot of purple. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. Like, I used to follow a lot more like what was coming out. Yeah. And lately I've actually just kind of shifted to like, I'm just going to wait and see what comes out in the store.
Yeah. Well, I do that often. And I have no problem at all doing that. Just getting whatever I can get through stores, because, unless you got people sending you stuff, like companies and stuff like that, getting all the new stuff that comes out is virtually impossible, unless you're at that convention, whatever it might be. So I'm absolutely okay with what you just said, because I think that's what most people do anyway. Unless you're going to be able to be at that convention, you're not going to be able to find all that other stuff.
And if they're even going to have enough copies at the convention.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just one of those like I've just like it's actually kind of funny. Like I just don't even look for like news or press releases. It's like, let's just go to the game store. Oh, this looks interesting.
Yep. No, I'm totally on board with that. Because I do strongly believe that is the bulk of our hobbies experience. What can I get at the game store? And then you got to throw Kickstarter into it, because that is definitely a thing. But
so did you ever back Kickstarter much, or did you not have to because you got access to a lot of stuff through like Dice Tower or whatever?
Yeah, it's not really that I didn't want to. It's that or that I didn't have to. It's more that I didn't have the funds to. Because let's face it, Kickstarters are freaking expensive, dude.
Especially now. Like, remember like when Kickstarter was like really coming on the scene, and you would get like these crazy games for like $100, and you're like, okay, sure.
Yep.
And now it's like, hey, here's a crazy game for $500, and I'm like,
exactly.
No.
Yeah.
So
that's absolutely true. So, but I've done some things like that, but they're few and far between. I just can't afford to put too much cash into, because it is an investment. I don't believe that Kickstarter backers are investors. That's a very important line that I think has to be drawn. I don't think that Kickstarter backers are investors.
No,
but it is an investment for the person.
Yes.
And I will recognize that they are putting money into it, but I think they ask too much to be considered.
Yeah, no, you are funding a pre-order.
Yep.
You're
That's
not
exactly what it is. You're pre-ordering a game, nothing more.
Yeah. But I mean, and like it, you didn't design it.
Nope.
You didn't do anything. You're getting product in return.
Yep.
The only thing that the backer is really doing is telling them how many copies need to be made.
Yep. That is it.
So, yeah, I did like Kabuki Kid and well, Kabuki. Okay, sorry, I thought somebody else had said something. Said that days slow down on Kickstarter, and I know I have. Like, I'll back a bunch of stuff for $1.
I'd back that for $1.
Well, that way I get updates and I get into the pledge manager. If I really want it,
right.
I could still get it at a good deal.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll throw in that way, but that's about it. And half the time I even forget to go back and do anything else with it.
Yeah.
So, actually, Cyberpunk Combat Zone is a great example of it. I didn't do it, or I put in $1. I didn't do anything with it. And then we were driving to Idaho back in August, and I went into a game store and they had backed it and had just gotten it. And so I paid them $200 right there and took the core set and 6 boosters, and because basically paid the Kickstarter price.
Yep.
But didn't have to wait 3 years or whatever it was to get it.
Right.
So anyhow, I cashed that in for my birthday.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
But that's if the store can do it
if you can.
Has done it.
Right. It's highly situational.
Yeah. But yeah, my biggest issue right now is I just need to play the games that I keep buying.
All right. This is horrible. This was an amateur graffiti artist, but I think that's about the best I can do, I think. Let me put it there. Sorry. Got it.
No, that looks great, man.
It'll come up. It's coming up. Boom. So that's just an idea. It gives you an idea of what you can do with better skills. You can probably do better.
No, dude, you are being way too hard on yourself. That is fantastic. Like me, I'm just letting my stuff dry.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing about this is that I can still see the Militech logo on the background, underneath it, so that it still has the Cyberpunk branding on it, so to speak.
Yeah.
So,
no, being able to get or covering up part of the logo is fine. Yeah. My initial hesitation was just the like I said, I was thinking, I need to prime these, and then that's going to cover up the logo, and then I'm going to be annoyed.
Yep.
So
totally. Well, Kabuki and Tom like it, so that's good enough. We'll count it as the win. You liking it wasn't good enough, Brian. I'm sorry. I had to get some more.
I see how it is, Sam. All one says, I like to put the tag headless Pez on my terrain. That's a little disturbing.
Headless Pez?
Maybe the Pez dispenser with the head ripped off, I guess.
Yeah.
Who does that to a Pez dispenser? That just seems like you probably would.
You've served your purpose, Pez dispenser.
Oh, that's great.
Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. I like going to the game store. I like buying games, and then I'm just bad at like actually getting them to the table.
Oh, you and everybody else in this hobby,
except for Sam, who plays everything.
No, I do not. I can't. I've got a whole table full of stuff that I need to get played. I'm looking at PAX Viking. I'm looking at Arceus. I'm looking at
Vikings. You don't like Vikings? No.
No.
Worth it.
let me tell you something. So I've got a whole like crate of stuff from 25th Century. They were super generous and sent me like a whole box of stuff. Gartenbau, Cryptic Cafe, Ghosts Love Candy 2, The Hunt. I actually haven't played The Hunt yet, but I've looked at it, read the rules, so I'm looking forward to getting that one to the table. Tutankhamun, Ra, Dawn of Ulos. I need to get that to there from Thunderworks. Kohaku, Motor City. Some of those things are stuff that I purchased. And so they have kind of a lesser priority. I try to get the stuff that was sent to me done first.
Sure.
But it's really hard getting stuff played, dude.
Here's a question.
We're just busy, you know. It's just.
It's not like you have kids or a wife.
I mean, nothing like that.
Kabuki Kid says, the day Sam says he doesn't like Vikings, we look under his bed for an empty plant pod.
That's funny. That's absolutely funny. That's awesome.
All one says, I have no idea where I came up with the tag headless Pez, but it's funny when someone reads it and they're like, what the? Which is what I did, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Kabuki Kid is wondering if Pez dispensers are worth money. The ones you gave your aunt, Kabuki Kid, maybe not. In general, let's be honest, there's somebody that collects everything.
Yeah. Actually, the ones that you gave your aunt are probably the ones that are worth something now.
Right, exactly. Because that's how it always works.
That's how it always works.
So actually, that's a question that I would ask you, since you are the professional in this space and have played so many games. How often do you go back to just an old classic? Like, I just like this game, I'm going to play it again.
Much more now than I used to. I'll say that, because you know, back when I was working with the Dice Tower, it was always, we had to get reviews done. We had very little time to go back to classics, and that was one of my only gripes that I would have about working for the Dice Tower. We always had to be playing the new stuff, and we very rarely had the time to go back and play stuff that we truly enjoyed. But now I still do have a little bit of that, because I do try to keep my finger on the pulse. The cool thing about having JT around is he's a great guy, first of all, but second of all, he has his finger firmly on the pulse of Kickstarter, and so and new stuff that's coming out. And so when he gets something in, that is like a Kickstarter, something that he backed and now it's being fulfilled, I know that I should probably do something with it, whether it's just an unboxing or whether it's, hey, let's play that on Friday on our live stream, whatever it might be. That's something that I know that I should probably do. And he's very gracious and willing to not open his stuff that he's been waiting for to wait to do that. And so he's really cool about it that way. So that's really helped me keep the channel loosely relative.
Sure. Yeah.
And not just about the old stuff that I like to play. So that's been a cool thing about having JT around. And the fact that we were buds before I started doing this, it just helps. But for example, I got a copy of Imperial Miners, which was on my list for Essen this year, of interested games that I would be going to check out and possibly buy. But the reason that I was able to get a copy of it is because he got in on the ground floor. When they sent him his copy, it got lost for a couple of days. No, seriously, it did. It got lost for a couple of days. And he said, hey, it didn't show up. And so they said, hey, we'll send you another one. And if that other one shows up, we'll include a return shipping label. So instead of that, he just basically said, he gave them $40. And that's what he charged me. It was like 38 something for shipping or something like that. It was something weird. And so he just said, hey, you give me $40, I'll give you my copy, and I'll just give him that $40, and just pay them back for the shipping that they paid to have that return label packaged. And so I got I got a copy of Imperial Miners because of that. So it's stuff like that. That's it's just strange because not being a big channel, you're not going to have everybody sending you stuff. But even then, not being a big channel, I wouldn't be able to handle everybody sending me everything anyway.
Right.
So it's like, you don't want to send me stuff, I'm very cool with it. So it allows me, when I go to a convention, I can pick and choose who I want to go ask for a review copy for and who I'm just going to buy that copy from. Because more often than not, if I buy a game, I'm going to give it a positive review if I ever give it around to reviewing it. I might just play it online. I just might live stream it, or I might just unbox it. I've actually kind of moved away from unboxings because they just aren't they don't yield a positive return in time investment. If I spend the time to record and edit an unboxing, the amount of views that I get from it, because more often than not, there's a truckload of unboxings out there already because people have had it long before I did. It's just not worth my time. But if JT gets, some huge miniatures game in that he backed, and we do an unboxing of that, and we do a live unboxing of it, because I don't have to edit a live unboxing, and I've got enough cameras to do multiple angles and all that kind of stuff. So unless it's something like that, I'm probably not going to do very many more unboxings. I am going to be starting to do more reviews lately, but I'm really falling into this idea of doing live stuff. Just do live reviews, live unboxings, live playthroughs, because editing takes so much time. For me, maybe it's just because I'm slow at editing, and I'm absolutely willing to
I'm really fast at editing because I don't do it. Go watch any of my videos, and it's like basically, if I get past like 30 seconds and I'm happy with it, because you don't want the first like 30 seconds to be dumb. So it's like, or like you go through you're talking, you're like, that just sounded stupid, and so I just stop and I'll start it again, And no, start it again. So like sometimes I'll have like 3 or 4 takes, but after that first 30 seconds, it's like, nope, I'm done. Like I don't care that I dropped this thing. Cool, I'm just gonna pick it up in the video. Who cares? You know.
Oh, one take Bryan, Kabuki Kid.
That's exactly Kabuki Kid. One take Bryan. But yeah, because also if I edit it, then I have to listen to myself talking, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah. Jess she just did her top 50, and she was like, she wanted to go respond to comments that people were putting on there just to, be a good host about it. But the videos kept playing and she was doing it on her phone. She was like, no, I don't want to listen to myself. Don't want to listen to myself. Don't want to listen to myself. So, but that was funny. That was funny because I've just kind of gotten used to it. But even when JT, he started making some of his own videos at his place. And then I'm going to be editing them. And he's like, man, it's hard talking to a camera. It's easy when I'm in a room with you and we're doing it together. But he said, just talking to a camera, that's hard. And I was like, yeah, it is. It is hard. So it's just one of those things you just don't notice. How strange it is when you've done it so much, but you're reminded every once in a while, this is kind of creepy because I'm just talking to a camera. But that's why I like doing live stuff, because I know I'm talking to somebody. Somebody's on the other end of this, spans of internet data, and they're in the moment with you. But recording and trying to make it something that's fun to watch, being lively about it, that is difficult, and it does take practice. And I just thought it was cool that JT and both within about the span of a week, both JT and Jesse are kind of experiencing that. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a different experience. I mean, obviously, having done it now for a couple of years ish.
Yeah.
I've gotten a little bit more used to it. I understand what JT's talking about. It's like, oh, I'm just talking to nothing. But but that's also one of those things. It's like, just kind of assume that you're like giving a talk or something, and just assume that there's somebody behind the camera watching. And that's kind of how I get over it.
Right.
But it is still fun just to be able to get in, do some of this. I don't know. I'm having fun with it. So
yep. Yeah. Tom actually said, I would rather watch what new games you got rather than an unboxing. So that's interesting too, because that's what I'm kind of leaning in towards with unboxings. Like, I've got a box that I'm waiting to come in from my buddy Alexander Urbanik in Germany. He was the one that sent me a good set of games from Essen, some of which I purchased, some of them were gifts from him. And so when that one comes in, I'm going to show that. I'm going to unbox the package, but I'm not going to necessarily unbox every single game.
I'll do unboxings mostly just because it's, again, that's me, quote unquote, playing the YouTube algorithm, just getting another video out there. It to me, it's also kind of interesting because you can take it and it's like, okay, hey, here's my first impressions. What does it look like? What is it? I haven't read the rules. If I open this up, do I have any excitement to play this? Just based on the components. Yeah. So that's why I do them. I just try to, but it's like, I also try to limit it to, once a week.
Sure.
Like it's
that's what I was doing. I had it set up as I was going to do, I had the thing, a camel walking across hump day, and that was hump day unboxings. And so I was just going to do them on Wednesdays. but I just started noticing that that they were not getting views. I mean, literally they were, and Wednesday was always my down day. So I was like, well, this is just not, it's not. I'm not unboxing games that people care about the unboxing enough for to get the views that you would want to get from a video like that.
Right.
So I was just like, okay, I'm not going to do this. But then, as you were talking about it, doing the algorithm, just getting a video up there for YouTube, I would much rather just do a live.
True.
And if I have, because then I don't have to worry about editing. I don't have to spend time editing. I can just do the live. Once I'm done with the live, I can go back to doing whatever I was doing and editing videos like, top 10 lists, because top 10 lists will bring in those views compared to an unboxing,
True.
So our top 100 list, I would much rather, it takes me usually about half of a day to get an entire, 50, 45 to 50 minute segment done. It takes me about 3 to 4 hours to get it all edited. Then I have to sit and wait for it to render. And usually rendering takes longer than the editing part because my editing gig is crap. But or editing rig rather, not gig. But so if I can do that, if I can do a live and just have it done and then go back to editing, I would much rather do that. And then, because that's my video for the day, so to speak. And then I can work on whatever recorded, edited content I'm going to put up tomorrow and get that done. And then the next day I can do the same thing. I can do a live and then spend the rest of the day working on something that's going to be put up the next day. So it's not all live content. There's editing going on, but it's not every single thing I put out is edited. Which I honestly don't know how Tom Vazel did it, or way back when he was editing all of his own stuff and putting all of those videos. I mean, dude must have not slept, literally. Or
maybe he didn't edit either.
No, he did. He did. This was back, this is like early days Dice Tower, back when, people weren't really doing live stuff.
Right.
But now he has, other people that, I mean, he cranks out so many reviews a week. And he doesn't edit them, but I think
they're still edited.
Yeah, I think Roy does the editing, but they've got it all worked out to a freaking science, man, where, so they still do a great job, but I just can't do that because I'm only one person. So I can't, and I'm not Tom.
Right.
Dude is a freaking beast. As far as cranking out reviews and being able to generally explain of a game in like 5 minutes, and it's a game that takes 3 hours to play. I can't do that. I get too bogged down in minutia to do that stuff.
Yeah, I've got a lot of work to do.
And well, you have a full-time job though, bro.
Right,
I mean,
that I'm working 11 days in a row at. No,
yes, exactly. So you take it easy on yourself.
So yeah, Kabuki Kid says, I remember when Tom pushed back when I begged him to do more live stuff, and he eventually flipped on that and does a ton of live now. I think a lot of YouTubers do, just because, like you said, it's easy. You don't have to edit.
Yep.
And there's also super chats.
Yes. So. Yeah. I mean, that's another big thing about it. Yeah. I mean, you might not get the views that a better produced video might get you, but you can get those super chats, which will make up for that difference anyway. So
right. Yeah. I mean, right now I'm bringing in that 50 cents a day in ad revenue.
totally makes up for all the games I've bought and hours I've spent recording videos.
Oh, wait, pardon me. Chiefs, park the car, please. Right? Come on.
Oh, all right. Well, it has been over 2 hours now.
Yeah.
I think everyone's wondering, like, what are they talking about? But all right.
No longer these things, but the star of the show has been these containers, and they have a whole bunch of these guys that are available. Go check them out.
Disappeared.
But
the green
these are the two that I put some extra little thingies into. Whoa! Oh, you got the green screen going on. That's funny.
Yeah, that's
I was like, dude, that's an awesome paint job. How did you do that? Oh, wait. I was like, holy crap, that looks awesome. Oh, I see. Green screen. But anyway, that's that. That's cool. Yeah, these are fun. These are really great products too. Great fun to paint, and they're going to look great on a table with some terrain as well. So that's my next thing that I'm going to be doing later on is putting these on a terrain table and putting some minis down with them and seeing how they look. So,
I think they're going to look amazing. Especially with the paint Sharpie graffiti.
Yeah. So. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
But yeah, so at this point, folks, we will do this again at some point. I want to do. We should do this at least once a month.
Yeah, I'm completely down with that. We just have to get it nailed down so that we know exactly when we're doing it, so we can plan on it and kind of maybe even coincide. You know, I think if we paint the same game and make it about the game, we can talk about the game. We can talk about our experiences with the game, and then paint some stuff for that specific product. I think that'll be a cool thing. But we don't have to. We can just do whatever we want to do, and if we're doing two different things, then we're doing two different things. Yeah, and talk about Star Wars.
No, but yeah, it's like, I mean, these have been fun. First off, I mean, thank you so much for doing it again. Thank you for sending me these crates. These are great.
Yeah, you're welcome, dude. I think it's cool, and I know I told Audrey that I was going to do that, and she was like, heck yeah, do it. And so they were super happy about it. So I'm glad I was able to do it. I'm glad it got there on time. We did kind of roll the dice a little bit to save some money, but it came up boxcars, so we're good.
Awesome. So, all right. Anything you want to shout out to my viewers before we go?
We're doing a live play later on. Tom, one of my moderators, actually just asked, am I doing a live play later? Yes. In about an hour and a half, we're going to be going live with 2 games. It's a double header. We're going to be doing Neotopia first with me, JT, and Jess. And then me and JT will be playing Sky Team after that in the second part of that stream. So come back and do that later on. Game Toppers. Game Toppers has a Kickstarter going on right now as well. They're a sponsor of our channel, and they have their 4.0 Kickstarter going on. So go check them out too. And that's about it, I think.
Cool. Well, then I don't have anything else coming up today. I don't know. I'll get videos posted eventually, but
yep.
Once I wake up,
man. That's how it goes.
All right. So we will say our proper goodbyes off stream, but everybody else, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Absolutely. See y'all later.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.